We continue now at the top of Daf Mem Amud Beis in Meseches Bava Basra. This is Bava Basra Daf 40b. On the previous Amud, the Gemara said that they said in Nahar Doi that any modah, and the Gemara here continues, the loksiv ba anon yadinon be ba'onsa de plani. If it's not written in the modah, where the witnesses say we know about the specific onus that so and so has, meaning there's a specific onus that's forcing him either to give this gift or to give this get or this sale, as the Gemara will discuss right now. But if it doesn't say the specific circumstances of the onus in the modah, lav modahi, that's not called a modah. And the Gemara now clarifies, modah demai, what kind of modah exactly are we talking about where we require such specification? If we're talking about a modah, let's say to give a get or to give a gift, so giluye milsa bi'almahi, there we just need to reveal what the truth is, what the information is. We'll see the Rashbam in a moment, but the point over here is there's no reason that you should need such specificity when it comes to a get or a matana. And if we're talking about a person who's forced to sell something of his, so there you're going to need to specify in the modah what the onus is. But didn't Rava say, lo kasvinon modah azvini, that we don't write a modah when it comes to sales? And so the Gemara answers, Liolam Dezvini, really we're talking here about a modah that's made on a sale. And the Gemara explains, Modi Rava Hecha Da'onis Uchemaisa de Pardesa. Rava would admit, in a situation where there's an onus, similar to the incident that happened with the orchard, as the Gemara explains, Dahu Gavra de Moshchin Pardesa Lechavri, there was a person who gave his orchard as a collateral to his friend Litzlos Shanin for 3 years. Basar Da'achla Tlos Shnei Chazaka, after he was on this orchard enough time to establish a Chazaka, Amar, so then this person who had taken this orchard as collateral, he said, if you sell it to me, then good. Vilo, but if not, if you don't sell me this orchard, kivishna l'shtar mashkanta, I'm going to hide the shtar mashkanta, the document which says that it was taken as collateral. V'amina l'kuchi biyadi, and I'll just say that I bought it because I've been here long enough to establish a chazaka. So when you're forcing a sale in that kind of situation, ki agavna kasvinan modah, in that situation we would write a modah on a sale, and again it would be over there that we would say that it has to say in the modah the nature, the specific nature of the onus. And the Rashbam explains, Giloi milsa bi'almahi, when it comes to a situation of a modah, let's say by something like a get or matana, so then we say it's Giloi milsa bi'alma, we just have to know what happened. It wouldn't make sense in that case to say that it has to be written in there, the specific nature of the onus. And the Rashbam explains, Kilomer, as if to say as follows, Harbe b'nei adam yuchlu leida on, so a lot of people can know what the situation of the onus was, meaning it's clear that there's an onus in these cases. Dekevan de'eno mekabel mammon b'matana, because when a person is giving a gift, he's not receiving any money, he's just giving something away. Uveget, the same thing, when the person's giving a get, he's not getting anything back. So this person who's giving it, if he really wanted to give it, so lamalo limsar modah, why even bother to give a modah? And if he doesn't want to give it, lamalo litan genu matana, why is he giving it? Obviously he is being forced, meaning anyone who essentially says they're being forced to give a gift, we can essentially trust that they are being forced to give the gift. Why else would they give the gift? So therefore there's no need to explain exactly the circumstances of the onus. Now that's not the same thing by a sale. The lo dami lizvini, it's not the same as a sale. The hasam, because over there, tzarech lefarish, there would actually be a need to explain what the onus is. The ikal member, because there's another possibility. One could say, stam mocher lo beritzono mocher, that a person who's selling, maybe he's not really selling because he wants to, elamishum chisarn mos, rather he needs money right now, and this is kind of a clever way to get the money now, and then later he'll say, well, I didn't really want to sell, it was really under duress, and he'll be able to get back, if he does get money later on, he'll be able to get back his item. Therefore you can say, he's really not serious about it, he's just putting forth a modah to kasavar, because he thinks to himself, in the future, when I have some money, then I'll take out this modah, I'll take this guy to court, then I'll get back my land, most of it, I'll pay back the money. But over here in Birtzona Navsho Nosen Getu Matana below onus, if he's just giving this get or giving this gift, and again he's just doing it willingly, so lama kose modah b'chinam, why should he write a modah for no reason? Just lo yiten get, he just shouldn't give the get. V'lo itzrich lichtov modah elavadai honest, so he doesn't need to write the modah. So therefore it must be, it's an honest. It must be that there's a forced, a coerced situation. That's what the Gemara means by giluye milsa bi'alma. By a get a matana, of course it makes sense. Why do you need to be so specific? Of course it's clear that the person is being forced if he says he's being forced, and so then you'll say, well, we're talking about a sale. sale. The problem with the sale was that in general, Rava says we don't write a moda on a sale, and the Gemara says no, there is a circumstance where we'd write a moda on a sale, and that would be an onus that's similar to the Maisa de Pardesa. And the Rashbam explains, Lo kasviran moda azvini, in general, we don't write a moda on sales. Nearly time of the Rava, the Rashbam says it appears to me that the reason of Rava is, Misham Daminon lekaman bepirkan, because we're going to say later on in the Perek, Hilchasa, that the halach is, Teluya v'zavin zvine zvine, that if you force a person to sell something, it actually is a good sale. If someone is forced to sell, we say it is a good sale. V'lo amron ela b'sad stam. Now that's not true all the time, but it's true, let's say, sad stam, meaning let's say the person says, I'm forcing you to sell one of your fields, but I'm not specifying which. Shekafu limchor achas misadosa, people essentially force him and they coerce him to sell one of his fields. V'hu birer me'atzmo achas mehen, umachar, he selects one of them and sells it. To lo have onus, that's not even considered an onus because he's the one choosing the field, and so we say he's probably choosing the field that he wishes to sell. And so in that situation, when he's forced to sell, it actually is a sale. You can't say you were coerced. So you're not going to write a moda in that situation. Aval besada zulo, but then the Gemara goes on to say that if the coercion is on this particular field, you have to sell it, then actually it's not a good sale. And so the question is, why don't you write a moda in that situation? And the Rashbam explains, V'hilkach lo kasvinan moda, therefore we don't write a moda. Why? Because even in a situation of sadazu, we're forcing you to sell this field. Halo have zvine velo tzarich moda. The Rashbam says it's not a good sale, and you don't really need a moda. Elo yavi edem shansu, just bring witnesses that know the fact that he was forced. V'tivatel shtar mechira below shamoda. You could just be mevatel the sale without a moda. V'ibes sadastam, and of course, if we're talking about sadastam, where they just force him to sell a field in general, hahav zvine. So then the sale is good. Ve'ein onus bazeh hasada. There is no forced. He's not being coerced with this particular field, and so therefore there's no moda. You can't write a moda. Because he selected this field and he sold it. And in this kind of moda, it's disqualified. The moda below onus lav klumhu, because if you have a moda without really being coerced, so then that's not considered to be anything. And so then the Gemara said that there is a case where we would write a moda. Meshani modi rava de chasvinan moda hecha de onis ki agavna de maisa de pardis de lekamon. When a person is forced, like the incident by the orchard, where essentially he's not simply being told you have to sell this field, he's being told if he doesn't sell the field, so then I'm just going to claim that you already sold it to me and I'm going to use my 3 years as a chazaka. To mitoch pachad shemafchidno so lahafsed hapardis lagamri, there they're scaring him into the idea that he's going to totally lose the orchard. Below dam, he's not going to get any money. Kamazvinle, so then he's selling it. Ein belibo limchor lagamri, there he doesn't really want to sell it. Elad sheinotzel min hapachad, until he saves himself from this coercion, from this fear. So hachavadai kasvinan moda. So over here, in a situation like that, we certainly would write a moda. The ha'ones gamerhu. The Rashbam says the difference here is it's a full onus. Di lo mazvin le ma'are lemachzik yafsid oso hamachzik lema'are b'tanosav. Because if he doesn't sell it to the person, so then this person is going to make him lose it by claiming that it was already sold to him by using his chazaka. Tahachu da'amri nahardai would be in this case where nahardai says that tzarech lemichtav anu yodim be v'chulu. There nahardai would say that you have to write the specifics, the details in terms of the onus, what the coercion was. And the Gemara continues at the two dots. Amar Rav Yehuda says, Hai matanta tamirta, this hidden gift, lo magvinan ba, so the recipient is not allowed to collect, meaning it's not really considered a matana, it's not considered to be a gift. And the Gemara says, Hey chidami matanta tamirta, what exactly is the case of a hidden gift? Amar Rav Yosef says, Damar lu l'sahadi zilu atmoru v'chasvu le, that he says to the witnesses, go hide yourselves and write up this document for this gift. That would be a hidden gift. V'iko di'amri, there are those that say as follows, Amar Rav Yosef, that hidden gift is as follows, that Rav Yosef says, a different version of Rav Yosef, the lo Amar lahu, that he doesn't say to them, Teisvu b'shuku v'vrisa v'tichtavu le, sit outside in the marketplace, outside in public, and write it for him, meaning according to the second version of Rav Yosef, it's considered hidden if he doesn't say to do it publicly. And the Gemara says, my beinayu, what's the difference between the two versions of Rav Yosef? Ika beinayu stama, the difference is, let's say he just stam, he says write a shtar, he doesn't say anything, so he's not actively telling them to hide, so that would not be the first version of Rav Yosef's hidden kind of gift. That would be considered a regular gift. But in the second version, if he doesn't say to do it publicly, that's considered to be a hidden gift. So a case of stam would be considered to be a hidden gift in the second version of Rav Yosef. And the Rashbam explains, lo magvinan ba, again, when it comes to a matanta tamirta, a hidden gift, the recipient cannot collect it. To shema nosna la'achar kvar, the idea is that maybe he already gave it to somebody else. That's why this time he's doing it in a hidden fashion. O lasos modol chaverta neskavin, or maybe what he he wants to do is he's giving this hidden gift because when he later gives it to somebody else, this is going to act as a modah. The fact that he gave it to the first person in a hidden fashion is really a modah, is really a way of him saying that my subsequent giving it to somebody else is not a real gift, kidel kamon, as the Gemara will explain as it continues. And the Gemara continues, Amar Rava says, V'hava modah lechaverta. Again, this hidden gift is actually, it acts as a modah for a subsequent gift on this exact item. Meaning to say, let's say he gives a hidden gift, a piece of land to somebody, and then later he gives the land to somebody else. The fact that he first gave it in a hidden fashion to the first individual is really a way of doing a modah, of saying that my second gift is not a real gift. And the Gemara continues, Amar Papa says, Hada Rav Alab Feirish Itmar, Ela Michlola Itmar. What Rav is saying over here, that a hidden gift acts as a modah for a subsequent giving, he didn't say that explicitly, we're just inferring it from a case that came before Rava. So there was a person who went to be Makadesh a woman. Amrle, she said to him, if you give me all of your property, so then I'll marry you. Vilo lo havinalach, but if you don't give it to me, all your property, so then I'm not going to marry you. So Azal Kasve lo lekula nichse. So he went and wrote up for her all of his property. Also break Kashisha, then his eldest son came, and Amarle, he said to him, Vahu Gavra, and this person, meaning myself, me, the oldest son, Mata have Allah, what's going to be with me, because I'm not going to get any of this property that I'm supposed to be inheriting. So Amar Luhu Sahadi, so then the person said to witnesses, Zilu Atmoru, go and hide yourselves, Be'evri Yamina and Evri Yamina, V'chasvule, and write for him all of the property. So also Lakame de Rava, so they came before Rava. Amar Lui said to them, Lo Markana v'lo Markana, the master doesn't acquire and the other master doesn't acquire. Meaning to say she's not going to get the property, the wife, and the son also doesn't get the property. Now we understand why the son might not get the property, because it's a matanta tamirta, it's a hidden gift. Why doesn't the wife get the property? Man dechaza, the one who saw the incident, Savar thought, Mishum dehavim modah lechaverta, must be what happened over here was that the hidden gift acted as a modah and made it that the gift to the wife didn't work as well. But the Gemara says, Veloi, it's not true. That's not really what happened. That's not why the wife did not acquire. Hasam mukha mils over there. The real reason the wife didn't get all the property is because it was obvious from the circumstances, the machmas onsahu dechasavla, that he was only writing it to her because he was being coerced. Again, because she said, I'm only going to marry you if you give me this property. But the Gemara continues, Aval hacha, but over here, mar nichale delikni, mar lo nichale delikni, meaning in a standard case, it could be that he wrote it in a hidden way to the first person because he doesn't really want to give it to that person, but then he wrote it in a public way to the second person because he really does want to give it to that person, and therefore in a traditional case it might not act as a modah. And the Gemara continues, Iboy lahu, they ask the following question, and the Rashbam explains, Asa break Shisha, the eldest son came kodem ksivas hashtar lisha. This happened before he wrote the shtar over to the wife. Obviously it had to be before, otherwise there's no way that it would be a modah. Modah has to be beforehand. Amar lahu l'sadi said to the witnesses, kodem shenichtav shtar isha, again before the shtar of the woman was written, zilu at itmoru be'ever yamina ba'oso makom, go hide yourselves in Ever Yamina, which was a particular place. V'chasvulei livni v'yiktim shtaro v'yikba hakol, that way my son will get it. And again he paskined that lo markana haben mishum to have a tamirta, the son doesn't acquire because it's a matana tamirta, it's a hidden gift. V'lo markana ha'isha mishum de tamirta have lo modah levatla, and the reason why the wife, initially they thought the reason why the wife doesn't acquire is because the matana tamirta is actually a modah, and that nullifies. But the Gemara then went on to say that it's not true. It's obvious in this particular situation, veloi, it's not true. To matana tamirta command delesi, velo have a modah. Really, a matana tamirta is not a modah. It's just that it happens to be in this case, the machmason, so it's obvious he was coerced. She'ena chafetz abo elim ken yichtov lo. She's not going to want to marry him unless he writes this. Hilkach lo gomer belibo lahaknos lo. Therefore, it's clear that he doesn't really intend to give it over. But again, in a standard situation, we would say that the matana tamirta does not act as a modah, and we will continue with this discussion in the next video on Daf Mem Aleph Amud Aleph.